Y'all niggas got me hot. Yeah.
I was watching Nella Rose yesterday.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how, like, she put a new video out. She was talking about how, like, her old video, she wanted to bring back her old, I mean, this is a sidetrack, but she wanted to bring back her old videos. And then she was, like, messaging her friends and, like, asking them, let's do this, let's do that. And they were like, it's not the same anymore because, like, people just chatting there. And like everyone always has something to say about other people's opinions, and it's just like it's just not going to be the same vibe anymore.
But that's why.
And then it's disingenuous because it's just everyone and their mothers doing them kitchen Nella Rose videos. Everyone and their mum.
See, that's what I don't get. Like, you know, on Twitter when people say stuff like, "Oh, Nella Rose really influenced a lot of new YouTubers now."
She did.
I actually understand that. She did. But people be saying, "Oh, so you're saying that KSI doesn't exist?" No. That's not the YouTube we're talking about. We're talking about the YouTube where everybody's in uni. They're saying, "Oh, let's go to the kitchen. Let's get random people in our com that we don't know to be in this video." And we're talking nonsense.
It's evolved.
But that's another thing. Just because you're bigging up one person doesn't mean you're down in another.
I remember like 2012 times, the big thing, Q&As. That was the big thing.
That was,
it was Q&As.
Yeah. Dilemma. All these made up scenarios.
Like people like A Online who do like
he was the best.
Ask A. Ask A's back in the day.
He was a
BBM times.
What? He was funny.
The good old days, man.
That one's
the good old
in the
days.
YouTube video, he put his pin right in the bottom of the video.
I
missed that, man.
We went on a tangent, but can we touch on the evolution of just YouTube? Because like fam, I remember when YouTube was like the skit era where people were just doing comedy skits.
Fam, I remember there was this American comedian. His name is This Is a Commentary, and he.
My God! I got two guys.
He had the funniest content ever. Fam, Watermelon, Drea, the Ghetto, Trey Melvin, the Ghetto Lullabies, Christmas, family reunions. And this guy was funny.
The Destiny Child thing with the Barbie doll.
No, I'll never forget the Christmas one where she Watermelon, joy to the house, she took my man. That's right.
And then the babysitter one. Yeah, the baby's always talking about your son. Oh, God,
but like
I can't even say that stuff.
There was and even in the YouTube, in the UK stuff, you had what was that? Smokey Barbers, Don't Jealous Me, like the and then you went from like
Man Them on the Wall,
Apprentice,
Apprentice. No, I swear, A.Dot's Apprentice. Yeah, in terms, that's one of the greatest like comedy series ever because people are still memeing it to this day.
I would watch it every single day.
To this day, people are still memeing that to this day, and that came out like 8-7 years ago.
I remember he was in secondary school,
bruv. And then you went from that era of YouTube to like, what was next? Was it
wait, what was it? I think
that's when at least for the man, that's when the FIFA YouTubers started popping out around. Like,
when did KSI come out?
That's like what? KSI's like what?
2012,
2011,
2012, 2013. Prime years.
Yeah. And then obviously all the man them in school just wanted to hop on football.
And then vlogging and stuff came big.
Yeah,
I love watching vlogs.
Vlogs like 2014.
Oh, I love a vlog.
Yeah. And then them people that started breaking into haunted houses or abandoned places.
the abandoned house videos.
And then the pranksters outside. What was it? Troll Station. Did anybody ever watch them? They were good.
Bro, when was the Westfield era? The Westfield era.
2015 times. Westfield.
Not gonna lie, I hated going Westfield, but I do love watching the videos.
My God, you see them Westfield videos?
They're so stupid. And always these 15-year-olds talking the maddest stuff. It's like, girls, you're like 12.
They'll be like, what type of girls do you like? What type of girls?
I only like light-skinned girls. I only like these.
See, I want my light-skinned thing with a big back and down. Do you get what I mean? No coolie hair, no dark skin.
It's Aria, Van Banter, all them people. Snapchat slide-ins, messages to your ex. Gosh, the way
if you had one message, what would you say to your ex? Ban my ex, did
it? She got head back in the day. You know what would be a big problem now?
What?
Yeah,
best friends on Snapchat.
Oh God,
why?
Do you remember that when people used to see their best friends?
Yeah,
on Snapchat.
So who you talk to the most?
Oh, people could see. I remember people could see that. Yeah,
back in this is like old Snapchat before it got all commercial and that.
Yeah,
like when you click on someone's name, has all the like I had like 3 or 4 of your best friends.
Yeah.
Like, listen.
If that happened today, so many.
Oh no! You see, Drawn out.
You know them man that copy and paste messages to girls.
Fam, you'll get exposed, fam. You'll get caught more. You'll get exposed like Derek Jackson, fam. Do you know what I'm saying? Fam?
No, Snapchat was alive. It was so live back in the day.
Snapchat was different. Snapchat was different. Like streaks.
Oh,
we used
God.
to ping people back. But
Every day.
But yeah, it's like, well, what that trip down memory lane taught me is that like there's always going to be a new quote unquote trend. There's always going to be a new thing. But what allows these people like Nether Rose, like the A-Dots, to resonate with us is because they came up with concepts to them that was authentic to who they were. Do you know what I mean? Before like what Nether's a pioneer in terms of like what she did for the YouTube genre, because everyone is eating off her plate when it comes to that type of social video, because we've never seen it.
Like, who thought of that before?
We've never seen it. But in terms of that, but what I say to the upcoming YouTubers is that obviously you can pay homage to her, you can do what you can emulate some of the stuff that she does, but if you're doing it just to replicate her views, don't milk it. You're overdoing it. You're overdoing it because
then you won't get views.
And
You won't get views.
and you're being disingenuous to yourself as an artist. If you care about like everything you do, like has to start with love.
Yeah.
Has to start with an idea that you had and you think, okay, cool. Like, how can I fill this gap in the market? What can I do that separates myself from the others? And touching on that,
that's what I was going to say. You need to make it different to everybody else, because you can't literally just imitate and use the same questions, the same setup, the same
100%.
lighting, the same wigs. It's like, bro, can we just put your own stamp on it?
Yes, the same wig.
Same wig.
well, AliExpress, yeah?
I said what I said.
AliExpress.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
You're going to switch it up and add your own stamp in it, so it's
You know what I'm
different.
saying?
Because why am I going to go watch you if I can watch Nella Rose? I'm just going to go watch Nella Rose. It's funnier.
And the thing is like, I've deeped it. A lot of people, they force their like personas and their the way they act on YouTube. That's one thing I don't like. If you're going to do a YouTube channel, like just make sure that you're realistic. Like this is actually how you are in real life. Because coming to Nella Rose, a lot of people have said she's literally how she is in her YouTube videos in real life.
I want to touch on
she doesn't force anything.
I talked about brand identity. Let me circle it back to Delphino. How do you keep, like, first of all, I want to ask you, like, your origin story. So you spoke about Justice League being your origin story. How did you get, like, what inspired you to pick up a camera or pick up a pencil and say, you know what, this is the craft I want to dedicate myself to? It's a loaded question, but yeah.
Man, I just that's a loaded question.
Now break it, like you can break it down to how many little.
I've said this already, but like skateboarding again, that revolves my whole world, man.
Okay.
Literally, just that, and like, I just want to be around music like 24/7. You get me? That's why I make music videos. 'Cause I just want to be around music all the time, all the time. That's like one of my biggest driving forces.
Okay.
What's a day without music for you like? What would it be like?
I don't know, man. I can hack it for a day, but then after that, it just gets a bit like, I don't know, feels a bit empty, you know? Yeah. But music's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
And nature, you know, you just have to tap into the sounds around you, innit? You know what I mean? Like, today I didn't even listen to music on the train. Like, I wanted to just, like, try something new, innit?
What, just go in a, what? So no music, just listen to the sound of the tracks?
Oh, well, I was reading a book, innit?
Okay,
But, like, still, like, yeah, man. I wanted to go back to that point you lot were talking about, like, copying and imitating, innit?
Go on.
So, I don't, I think, like, I don't know if you've seen any of Slow Tie's music videos.
Yeah, Slow Tie's cold.
Like, the rest who make all of his videos, they basically take scenes from different movies and they recreate it.
Yeah.
They took a scene from La Haine. I don't know if you've seen that, the
No,
French film.
I remember they took a scene from, I think it was Scream.
Yeah. Like, that's,
They use American. They've done American Psycho as well.
Yeah.
like, that's a brilliant way to reference something and pay homage, innit?
Yeah.
Because you're literally like in one of the shots, he's looking at a mirror, and in the background there's the poster of the actual film that scene's from.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's a really cool way to reference something and not steal it.
Yeah.
Put your own twist onto it.
Yeah, definitely. So, like,
Yeah.
because what would you say to people, that, let's say you're influenced by a certain someone, we'll go back to YouTube, we'll just use Nella again, they're influenced by Nella and they want to emulate that style. what advice would you give to an upcoming YouTuber that says, yo, I want to start YouTube, I want to make videos like Lena Rose? What would you say to them in terms of like, okay, make videos like Lena Rose, but how, like, for me, what I tell someone is, okay, you want to make videos like a certain person, but what do you do different from that person? What do you do different from Nella that will set you apart? Because I think
don't force a lifestyle that you can't compete with. That's like if you said you want to be a YouTuber, like don't try and have a lifestyle that like of these like other people. Like people generally like appreciate the come up. If they're here for the come up, they'll appreciate the come up in it. But don't do anything to compromise your integrity. Yeah, that's extremely important.
Authenticity.
I think
that's true.
I think people reveal too much about their lives, man. Oversharing, bro. When you win, yeah.
That is a thing.
When you win, sometimes it's best to win in silence. You know what I mean? Take it in by yourself. Like it's the same thing with losing. Sometimes when you lose, you don't want to share your loss with everyone. But the same thing goes with winning. Sometimes you got to win in silence because there's a lot of people that are jealous. A lot of people. People you think are your friends, and then they're acting a bit like, you know what I mean, trying to steer you away.
See, that's why they say like when you get opportunities, don't tell people straight away until you actually have secured the opportunity and like you've done it. Then if you want to tell people, tell them, because one thing I believe in is evil eye. I do believe that there's people out there that are praying for your downfall. Like there's a lot of people that will just be watching from a family like, no, they don't deserve that. They don't, why do they get that? Stuff like that. Like you just need to be mindful and careful like who you tell your business to. And like social media has become a thing where everybody wants to share everything. Every little thing they got, I got a job interview, they share it. Someone DM me, they share it.
Why do you think that's so though? Where do you think this oversharing culture has come from? Because I don't know, innit? Because like it's very weird. Because even back in the early days of like social media's been here for like almost like as a whole probably over a decade, from Facebook to this to that. But like I've really seen, especially on like platforms like Twitter, like people be really like divulging information that we didn't ask for.
I think it's just people want to stay relevant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
They want to stay relevant.
100%.
So like oversharing is like saying every part of yourself is like everybody's talking about you. All, not everybody, you're just not a celebrity, but people are talking about you all the time. People are seeing what you're doing, so you're always in their mind. I think people always just want to feel like other people want to know what they're doing, when in all actuality, sometimes I don't really care what you're doing.
But the thing is, there'll be like accounts with like 150 followers, and then you'll be saying like, "What happened to you in September 5th last year?" I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like,
story time. And it's like, babe, I didn't.
Like, this information should be taken to a therapist. Like, and I'm not even trying to be funny. Like,
the police.
I feel like a lot of people, like, I think I advocate for therapy a lot. In it, obviously, it's hard to finding a therapist is a hard thing to do, like sometimes, innit? So if anyone in the comment section, you know, has information on therapy, we'd love to have you on the show. We'll just talk about that. But that's a separate episode for a different day. But in terms of like, I feel like a lot of people are going to social media with their trauma and, you know, letting people on social media diagnose their problems before they've taken actual care to do it themselves. And it's like, that's a very dangerous thing to do, because you're allowing people to have commentary on things they don't even know. Strangers to have commentary. Do you know what I mean? You're allowing strangers to influence your life in a way that they should have no influence on your life. But and I feel that's the dangerous part with oversharing of social media, because you're presenting information to people, and this could be something that's very real to you, but to everyone else, entertainment.
And the thing is, like, even
and
YouTube,
also,
like even YouTube, especially a lot of American YouTubers, the way they will be sharing their relationships and everything, every little detail of their life on social media, the next minute when they get into a breakup, they're like to everybody, all their subscribers, you guys don't have the same my relationship, you guys should not be speaking about it. But it's like, you came onto YouTube and
but you showed me everything
yourself
beforehand.
Exactly. So
you allowed us access.
Of course, people are gonna have a say when you break up with someone that's been in every single video for the past 3 years, and like you've spoken about every little thing. First period with my baby father, first pregnancy. Like, Americans are so mad.
They are, you know. They have no. That's the thing. They have no shame.
I mean, since we're here, we might as well dive in. The whole Derek Jackson situation. You might as well dive into that.
I didn't even know who that man was.
Basically, for those who are unaware, Derek Jackson, he's a self-entitled relationship guru person. You know, he's very strong on, you know, black men being there for our women. You know, man, them we shouldn't cheat on our women. We should protect,
the uncle. Oh,
we should protect our wives.
We
should protect our women, which are all good messages. Recently,
wasn't he even mad last week on the TL? It was last week, innit?
Yeah,
it was
that video.
Yeah, so basically,
He cheated on his wife.
yes, he basically came out publicly and said, I am a man, I made mistakes too.
Then he used God and forgiveness.
I make mistakes too. And his wife was holding his hand in the video. His wife was holding his hand in the video.
And he was gripping her for dear life.
And you know, he was just here saying, you know, basically I cheated, but you know, and my thing is that you see, your brand identity is very important. You can't represent a brand that's not you. Because, technical difficulties.
Too much passion.
Too much passion. Do you know what I'm saying? My hands go everywhere. But anyways, you can't represent a brand that's not you. And you talking all of this stuff about, you know, pointing the finger at other people's relationships when your home isn't in order. And I feel like there's a lot of that on social media. People pointing the finger and saying, you know, look at my life, look at what I'm doing with my life, and really their life's in disarray.
People like to put up an image on social media.
Disarray. And I just feel like, yeah, that whole situation, even the part, do you see the part where he was reacting to his own video?
That was wild.
That was
So-
hilarious. Wait, what?
Yeah, do you not see it? So,
Wait.
so
Wait,
he made a reaction video to the cheating video.
He said apparently a lot of
he
people
didn't.
wanted him to do it.
And he spoke about himself in third person.
Then he even
No,
he was
he
grilling
didn't.
his
Yes, he
wife.
did.
He was grilling his wife, saying, "Oh, she should have said this. She should have done
my
that."
God.
Yeah. That's what he was on. Can you see the madness?
Telling you.
That's just
Man,
mad.
y'all
It's very
are
weird.
just a different breed.
It's very weird, but like we say,
Okay.
but like we said before, it's about not like I think personally he did that for numbers. The react, but
Yeah, definitely.
first and foremost, yeah, we live in a society where he's done the madness in his relationship. The only people that should know about the madness
It's
are the
him.
people in the
Oh,
relationship.
him and his wife. Oh, I'm
We live
sorry.
in this. He's
I'm
come
angry.
to explain to us his infidelities. Like,
People who have no say
We
in
don't
his life,
know
people
him.
who don't actually care.
but the
Why are
problem,
you telling us like we
They always
have?
saying They always say, "Oh, we owe it to you guys. You don't owe nothing to us. We're not in the relationship."
do you know? No, do you know why I hear when they
You
say
owe it to
that?
your wife to be faithful. How about that?
Do you know why I hear when they say that? Because they've shown us everything else. You might as well show us this. Oh, you might as well. You've shown us everything else you do. Do you know what I mean? You might as well throw this. Because my thing is, when does the line stop between, okay, you know, I want to give you guys insight into what I'm doing versus I'm just gonna expose my whole life.
Yeah.
Like and that's the balancing act of social
But
media.
one thing he didn't really
I think when
realize.
it. Oh, go on.
No, sorry. One thing he didn't realize is that him doing this video has opened up so much abuse to his wife now, because people are going onto her page,
Yeah.
picking up pictures saying, "Oh, no wonder why he cheated. Oh, you look like this.
Yeah,
you
talking
don't
about her
dress
look.
good." It's like she's getting more heat than he is, and it's just weird. Like, he's
See, that's
the
what
one
I'm
cheated.
saying. I feel like when you share personal information, it should only affect you and yourself. Because so when it goes bad, if and when, it only affects you. But when you share information about your relationship with somebody else, that can negatively affect them. I think that's just too much. Because obviously now people are bullying his wife, telling the wife that she don't look good, and that's why he cheated. And it's like, because you cheated and now you wanted to put out information, now people are bullying me.
She don't deserve that, innit?
Exactly.
No, she don't.
She doesn't deserve that at all.
People don't deserve like the repercussions of someone else's actions, man.
Mm.
You've got to be very careful with how we act. I was talking to Zach about that like a while ago. Like especially on social media, when you've got a presence, you've got to be very careful about the way you act, because it has repercussions, innit? On those that you love and your family and everyone, innit?
Even you, just as an individual.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you could put out something, you know, in the heat of the moment that could compromise you for the rest of your life. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we spoke about, months ago, back in, you know, back when we were all in lockdown, like we spoke about, you know, the whole cancel culture stuff, and you know, people bringing up old tweets, and whether we agree with people bringing up old tweets or not, like the stuff you put out on social media stays there.
Yeah.
It stays there. So like we have to be very mindful and diligent of the stuff we put out there, because especially if you represent a brand, because The moment you put yourself out there, the moment you show your face and you have something attached to it,
Your public property.
exactly.
That's why people be making friends and they're just like finding out people's businesses, where they live, everything, the school they went to, just from a click. Like your government name is there, you're saying nonsense. Of course, people are gonna find you and get you fired. You just need to be careful with that.
So, like, how do you, in terms of like accessibility, in terms of like the people that support you, like, do you draw a line to how accessible you let people be? Because Jason, you have a massive following on Twitter, innit, and on social media in general. Like, obviously, we can build relationships on social media. I think that's a beautiful thing about social media. You can build relationships. You know what I mean? Even Delphino, that happens through social media. But like, how much access do you allow people into you? Do you be like, okay, we're only communicating on a business level, or we'll like, where do you find that balance, if that balance exists?
Wait, so is it like the way I show myself?
Yes.
Oh, like with Twitter, I always said to myself, I have a private account anyway with people that I know personally in real life. Like, they can see my tweets where I want to tweet about personal stuff, but it's like, if it's on my main account, funny tweets, my photography, my videography, just normal tweets. I don't want people to know too much about me, because like, we don't know each other in real life. Like, I've grown up and my parents have always told me, like, if people don't know you from outside, like, if they're not friends with you, they don't need to know about your business or your life. Like,
Speak when necessary.
Yeah.
In certain situations, it's just best to speak when necessary to speak.
Exactly.
Because you can't just be having people just be hearing how like you roll as an individual. It's just like, not even being private, but being private is like the best thing in a lot of situations. Just simply because like having people know too much. The more people know about certain things, the more vulnerabilities that they think they can take from you. That's quite important. Like, once people know more about you, they think, oh, they can notice small vulnerabilities in yourself that they think they can take advantage of. Doesn't need to happen.
And people,
and the more opinions that other people have as well.
exactly.
Unnecessary opinions.
And people think they know you. That's the funny part.
That's the worst part.
That's the worst part. Like, people will see a public figure and be like, I knew she was like this based on what she posted yesterday. You don't, like, all you're doing, and of course, like, let me not be a hypocrite. Of course, sometimes it is fun to feed into the drama on social media, of course, but you have to remember, these are actual people and you do not know them. So you writing a dissertation and a psychological theory about this person doesn't necessarily make sense. Of course, if they've done something mad and it's public information, of course you can comment on that.
See, it's like the Kylie Jenner thing. Like, we just literally this week, her friend, her close friend's other friend was in hospital, and he put out GoFundMe. She posted it on her story saying, "Oh, okay, you guys."
But he wasn't even her close friend.
And then the amount of paragraphs I've seen on Twitter, people saying, "Oh, she's a bad friend. I always knew she was like this. How can you do this?" It's like a whole paragraph. Twitter just,
we don't know.
She was #1 trending. Then she had to put out a statement saying, "Oh yeah, I don't know the guy like from Adam. Like, I don't know this person. It's my friend's friend.
Like, we're not mates."
Like, I just put out his thing to help him." And then now all them people, like, you need to go delete your tweets, because it's silly. Because you people are saying, "Oh, but you're a billionaire. You're not helping out your friend. Oh, you're bad vibes. This, that." I'm just like, you're too fast. That's the thing. Like, you don't need to speak on stuff instantly.
That's the thing. People are too fast.
But that's kind of the blessing and the curse that being a public figure provides. It's kind of like, people like when you win, there are gonna be thousands of people to celebrate you.
Yeah.
When people think that, you know, you've effed up or done something bad, there are gonna be more, like, probably more people to criticize you, and that's kind of like,
that's the game.
It's sad that it's like that, but it's the reality of the situation. Like, and this is why, like, you have to kind of course, social media can bring you opportunities. Social media is a tool at the end of the day. Like, it has its good and it has its bad.
You see how just as quick you can get it, just as quick you can lose it.
Facts.
That's just as quick as everyone can get as successful as they want to be through social media. Social media ain't real. Like, yeah, we all use it. We all
you know what that reminds me of?
Go on.
That one guy, that white guy, where he blew up because he put up this freestyle, and then literally the next day it came out that he said the N-word in the past. And then literally, he went from top to bottom.
Yeah.
I thought sorry for him, you know.
What did he say again?
I don't even
He
know.
was talking about black girls or something.
You know, basically made him. Yeah,
So he said something about black girls or something.
Yeah.
And then he went from everyone gassing him to everyone slating him in about 24 hours. That was so funny.
Did ZZ Mills interview him?
Yeah, ZZ Mills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ZZ Mills.
grilled him
She
badly.
got on his case.
Mercy.
I was like, I thought,
Got on his case.
like I remember, like there's a quote from Batman that summarizes this perfectly. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and that's the case on social media.
24 hours, he became a villain.
You will become it, like you.
24 hours.
And this is why
Career
you
from the start.
always have to like go back to like what motivates you and what drives you, because if it's public acclaim, if it's that, you're gonna go mad. Like you can't live for that. You can't, like it's not sustainable. Like there will be a day where people will turn on you for whatever reason. They will turn on you, justified or not. So you have to have something to fall back on. Even we spoke about Nella. People turned on Nella last year.
Yeah, the council.
Yeah, like it happens. Like even the most prominent figures in the world will have their days. But if you always have something to fall back on in terms of like, okay, I'm doing it because I love this. I'm doing it because this is a way for me to feel creative and just get a lot of the stuff I want out of my chest in an artistic fashion. That's fine. But if you're solely doing it for the acclaim of others, trust me, that fruit will expire. That will expire quick. And then you're going to be left thinking, raw, like what happened? And then you're going to start doing controversial things for the sake of clout.
Who's that person? Uncle Ed.
Oh,
He went down
Yums. Remember Yums TV?
Rise and
Yeah,
fall, man.
that rape thing that he did in the shower.
Yeah.
And then Uncle Ed is doing that. What he's doing wild.
Them man are doing wild things.
Ever since the whole he added Daily Mail in the Stormzy
Yeah, I
thing,
thought that was.
and he didn't delete it.
But
What happened?
When Chipmunk dropped a video of Stormzy pulling up to his house like 6 months ago, and then Uncle Ed tweeted and added Daily Mails, and then everybody was just saying like delete this, and then he just aired it.
At a Daily Mail.
Yeah, he added Daily Mails. Basically like, look at this, look what's going on. Oh no, because obviously, I think he tried to be funny, but we all know like what Daily Mail does when it comes to like
funny.
black
Especially
public figures.
Stormzy.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like
Stormzy and everybody. Yeah.
And again, this speaks to a whole nother thing, but controversy marketing is just it's not a thing. Like marketing based on controversy, trust me, like it's not fun. It's like it's not gonna bring you the flowers if you think. Of course you're gonna get hits. People as a society, we kind of like not love negativity, but we gravitate to negativity. So of course that type of content there will garner an audience, but is it the audience you're prepared to deal with? Because do you wanna
That's a very opinionated audience you're going to be getting a response from.
Facts.
Yeah. Can I ask a question, please?
Go on.
Do you think this to everybody, but do you think we as consumers can tell, like, when somebody is doing it for, like, the right reasons or when somebody's doing it for clout? Because I feel like sometimes you can, and sometimes
I
you actually
definitely
can't.
I feel like I can. Yeah, you could just tell by people. Like, there's some certain people that you can just tell is forced. I don't know why, but I can literally just tell from like the get go. Yeah, this is forced. I don't even want to be bad, man, but it's like, you know how everybody's doing up black queens and all that stuff. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I can tell sometimes when it's forced.
Performative, man. Like, let's keep it.
You keep doing it, but you keep saying, "Oh, I love my black queens." Like, you wake up in the morning, you get my black queens. Even black women have said, "Yo, stop calling us black queens." Like, it's jarring. It just sounds like,
it's a bit annoying.
My black queens. But yeah,
It's a little bit performative and a little bit like, okay, we get it. Like, okay,
yeah, I feel like
you gotta try him, but
no, I feel like you can tell like who's genuine and like who isn't. Especially like just scrolling through and just looking through people's work, like how it sounds really mad, but how much pride people take in their work. Like when you look at the type of content people push out and whatnot, like you can put through like a scrap piece of work, like it's just planning work, but even the detail in terms of how you want to put through an idea, all of those things is kind of like how you carry yourself as a creator. And obviously people have different ways of doing different things, but I feel like when we were talking about earlier, when it's very hard when people like have ideas to be creative and it's not thought out enough. It's very hard, like especially like as a creator myself, I know how much planning I go into when it comes to me doing a project. So when someone comes to me with a project like, oh, I have this new prospect that I want to do, you might have thought about it, but have you really thought about it? Most likely not. And I don't want to put that on them saying, no, you haven't, but it's just a thing where it's just a quick thing to filling a void for whatever thing, but it's a long-term game. Like, as long as you know that you're going to have to be doing this for the next 30 years before you know, maybe someone might start giving me my flowers. It might happen before then, but if you're willing to know that it can last a whole lifetime, you've won. Like, that's it. As long as you know, like, this, you're in this for the long-term game, and you're going to be 50 years old, 60 years old, still doing this and be known as one of the best to do it. That's what it's about.
Definitely.
I think people can tell when it's genuine. Like, we're smarter than we think. You know, people can tell when it comes from a place of like love and resonance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think now more than ever, I don't know. I feel like there's been a big shift, man. A lot of people are starting to come into themselves more, starting to understand who they are, and starting to understand what they want to achieve, especially now during lockdown, man, when it's been so insecure times, isn't it? I think a lot of people have just gone into themselves and done some like deep soul searching. I'm not talking about everyone, but a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, the genuine stuff does shine through, and it always will shine through. For sure.
Defo. This has defo been a great conversation.
Brilliant.
Final thoughts, Delphino. Like, if you could give like a short message about what your art is about, what your craft is about, like, what message do you want to put out to people that view your stuff? Like, what would you say?
Well, our ethos as Delphino Productions is like collective evolution through film and animation. We want to eventually get to the point where we can provide, you know, equipment for people who are less privileged and teach them storytelling through the visual format. Because there's loads of people who live in like dire situations who could portray their situation better than their local media. So yeah, like that, and just trying to convey the message of like duality, because I believe in like transient nature of life. Things don't last forever. So I just showing the beauty in the imperfections. Yeah, I'm still refining it, but that's kind of the direction I want to head towards. Like, there's a Japanese Zen thing called wabi sabi, which is like nothing is perfect, nothing is permanent, nothing is finished. It's basically like finding beauty in imperfection. So yeah, like eventually get into that.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, it's been a pleasure.
I appreciate
literally
it.
having you on. It's a pleasure. It won't be the last time. Definitely. This has been a dope episode of the Rare Podcast.
Very dope.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Follow our individual accounts. You know, we've got individual accounts too, but follow us. We're on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify, and we are on YouTube. This has been the Rare Podcast. We are signing out. Deuces. Catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Bless.
Y'all niggas got me hot. Yeah.